Welcome fans to the channel. This is Exis0096 again. I have been away for a while, mainly playing Star Citizen and other games. I don't want people to understand that. I want people to understand that in addition to doing Gundam, I plan on doing other things as well. So, hopefully I can cover the UC timeline. I'm planning on covering other timelines for my Gundam channel, Gundam portion of my channel, and I hope everyone sticks around for it. So here we go. And do understand the source I'm using is the Gundam Wiki, which, of course, some events have probably canonly changed, but we'll see. It's a Wikia, it's a fan site, so we'll see. Anyways, we're going to start at the very beginning of Gundam UC lore that is mentioned, chronology-wise. In 1969, in an alternate timeline, July 20th, Apollo program of NASA finally succeeded in sending mankind to the moon. This is the first footprint of mankind on the surface of the moon. Note 1. It looks like they erased some stuff since I've been here. Because originally there was some stuff written. Sorry, I'm flipping through. I'm trying to figure this out. Something's up here. Go down, dang it. Stupid. Okay. Universal Sim Tree 0001. The population of Earth exceeds 9 billion. Immigration to the high world to the space colonies begins. Yeah, okay. Go back up. Go back. I wish I had the old archive side of the page. Because there was some information between here and here. The Laplace station is built in Earth orbit. Ricardo Marcinus is elected as the first Prime Minister of the Earth Federation. During the calendar change ceremony, terrorists used solar-powered bombs to destroy the Laplace space station, killing most of the inhabitants. One survivor, Siam Vist, comes across the UC charter, Laplace's box, realizing that the words, which dictate the inhabitants of space should be given self-governance without interference from Earth. Realizing these words contain the power to destroy the Federation government, Siam takes the document with him and to hiding and marries into the Vis family. Construction of Side 1, Bunch 1, Lagrange, Shangri-La colony is complete, and the CMC, Colony Management Corporation, is also completed. UC 0007, Jeden Nicard is born. Okay, remind me who Jeden Nicard... Oh, the old man from 8th MS team. Okay. I remember him. The pervy old man. Yeah. 0009, Xeon Zoom Daikun is born. Anton Flanagan is born, of the Flanagan Institute. UC-15, the population of the space colonies reaches 1.5 million. Ternov Yevhen Minovsky, pardon my language, I cannot spell that, father of Minovsky physics, is born in Ukraine. UC-0016, the Federation establishes the Frontier Settlement Transport Bureau. UC 0017, Degwin Sotozabi is born. UC 0018, looks like June 18th, 1 million Space Noid baby is born in Site 2 L4. Side 1, Bunch 1 Shangri-La, selected as the site of Olympiad L2, the first to be held off the Earth. UC 0020, the population of the space colonies reaches 5 million. And the Federation forces are divided into separate land, sea, and air forces. UC 0022. The population of the Earth Federation declares an end to warfare on the surface of Earth. Yeah, right. UC 0025. The population of the colonies reaches 50 million. In UC 27, Von Braun is the first permanent lunar settlement established. And then LEDA, the Lunar Economic Development Authority, an independent non-governmental organization, is established. UC 0030. Due to suspensions of forced immigration, Federation privatizes the Frontier Settlement Bureau Transport Bureau, FSTB, which becomes the Space Transport Enterprise Group, STEP. The population of the colonies reaches 500 million at this point. UC 0034. Federation reorganizes STEP, a non-government organization. The Public Corporation of Space Transport, PCST, is established. Construction of Side 2, Bunch 1, Space Colonies complete. Side UC 0035. Construction of Site 3, Munzo Province, begins in L2 using Minovsky's closed-type design. UC 0040. 40% of the Earth's population, roughly 40%, have emigrated or left into space. The philosophy of Elicism, that all mankind should leave Earth the cradle of life to conserve her immaculate state, begins to take root. Asteroid Juno, later called Luna 2, was stationed in lunar orbit finally. UC 0044, half of the human population total now lives in space. The EFF develops the RTX-44 main battle tank land combat vehicle. Ronan Marcinus, the grandson of Ricardo Marcinus, is born. UC 0045, Zeon Zoom Daikun proposes Contolism. Elicism and Sideism equals Contolism. The asteroid Juno, later known as Luna 2, is placed in Earth orbit to help with space colony construction. The Minovsky Physics Society is founded at Site 3's colony cluster. UC 0047, development of the Minovsky Ionoska, I cannot spell that, fusion reactor begins. UC 50, 9 billion of the Earth's total population of 11 billion have moved into space. Degwin Sotozabi marries the much younger Nelissa. Terry Sanders Jr., the Reaper, is born. Finally, some good news. UC 51, the alien landholding law is passed. UC 52, Xeon moved to Side 3 and began the propagation of Contolism. Gideus Sahalin is born. Yeah, that jerk. Karen Joshua is born, UC 50. Schwartz Bush forms the Bush Concern space salvage business. They're going to be more important later on. Elidor Massa is born in UC 55. Shiro Amada, commander of the 08th MS team, is born at Site 2, L4, 0056. UC 0059. The Earth Federation forces implemented an armament enhancement program for the 60s. The program's main objective was the organization of the Space Force. Conversion of Luna 2 into a military base begins. And 11/17 of that same year, Casfel Rem Daikun, better known as Shar Aznable, is born, as well as Aina Sahali. The same day. They share the same date. God, I wouldn't want to share a date with Shar. UC 60, Bright Noah, commanding officer of the White Base, Future, and the Bright Slap, everybody knows that, was born in UC 60. UC 61, the EFF fields the Type 61 twin 150mm main battle tank. Mirai Yashima is born and Mikhail Niederich is born. UC 0062, Zeon Zoom Daikun declares the independence of Side 3. Simultaneously, their National Defense Force was established. Dr. Minovsky issued his new theory, Minovsky physics, predicting the existence of the Minovsky particle in UC 62. Artasia Som Daikun, also known as Salem S, is born. In that same year, Lala Soon and Kiki Rosita are born. In November 4th of 1963, Amuro 3 Ray is born. Oh, UC 0063, sorry. UC 64, the EFF conducts a naval review. The new ships developed as part of the year 60 armament reinforcement plan take center stage. Hayato Kobayashi and Frau Bo are born. UC 0065. Researchers of the Minovsky Physics Society discover a unique electromagnetic effect which leads to the discovery of the Minovsky particle. A political schism between the Zabi family and the Zeon Zoom Daikon faction are made public. UC 67. The Federation government intensifies its economic pressure. On Site 3. Construction for Site 7 L3 announced. Terrence Richmond and Yellowhammer T. Kinnis demonstrate the Riot R7 prototype humanoid robot to Rob Torres. UC 68. Zeon Zoom Daikun died, allegedly assassinated. Degwin Zabi succeeded Zeon as leader, claiming that Zeon had appointed him. Yeah, I'll bet. Scharnhorst purchased the good name of the Rona noble European family. UC 69, September 5th. ZEF became the cadre of a new and vastly expanded military force, ZMF. The ZMF commissions the first Papo class transport ship. The validity of Minovsky physics is confirmed by the discovery of the M particle. UC 69, November 11th, Camille Bedan is born. UC 70, they launched this year's 70 armament plan, the EFF does. March, the Principality experiments with scattering Minovsky particles to jam radar. They complete a megaparticle cannon based on Minovsky physics in May. In June, they commission its first Shiva class space cruiser. In October, the EFF produces the Salamis and Magellan class battleship. UC-71. ZMF begins development of new weapons for use within a Minovsky particle field. The Minovsky ionic compact reactor is completed. Gundam proclaims his survival of the selected theory. EFF completes the FF-S3 Saberfish space fighter and adopts the 9x 19mm Colt as its standard issue sidearm. In the asteroid belt, in UC-72, Principality of Xeon begins construction of the asteroid base Axis as way station for its Jupiter fleet. Prominent scientist Ternov Minovsky defects to the Federation, creating a scandal in the Federation in the Xeon. ZMF begins development of the Hidolfer transformable tank. Yashima and Keist families immigrate to Side 2, L4. UC-0073. Principality of Xeon complete the first prototype mobile suit, the MSO-1. ZMF adopts the M73 Mark II. It's a standard issue normal suit. Rennie Marcinus, great-grandson of Ricardo Marcinus, is born. UC-0074. The Principality of Xeon completes its first prototype version of the MSO-5 Zaku-1. This is 74 February. This prototype mobile suit is equipped with an ultra-compact fusion reactor based on Minovsky physics. In December of that year, the first Jupiter Energy fleet returned to Principality of Xeon territory with enough helium, hydrogen, and methane to make it energy independent of the Federation. UC-75. The Principality of Xeon rolls out a combat-ready version of the MSO-5 Zaku-1. Later this year, the first Mobile Suit Training Battalion is formed. UC-0075. In July, they commission its first Musai-class space cruiser, the first warship designed to carry mobile suits. UC-0076, the Principality of Xeon expands its mobile suit production facilities and begins production of the MS-05 Zaku-1. In December of that year, anticipating a possible Earth invasion, Principality of Xeon begins developing specialized mobile suits for land and sea combat. What is that? Okay. 0077, the Rhea Revolution. A nationalist faction seizes control of the local military force in Site 6, starting a civil war with Federation loyalists. ZMF backs the nationalists and deploying a squad of MS-05B Zaku-1s and blockading the EFF. The nationalists win and Site 6 declares independence as the Rhea Republic. I think that's how you say it. UC-0078. In January, they began production of the Zaku-2. And in March of that year, they begin the development of the RX project. The Federation does, a secret mobile suit development program. In October, the Principality of Xeon announces a state of national mobilization. The Xeon military is divided into a space attack force commanded by Dojozabi and a mobile suit assault force led by Cassilia. The 1-year war begins in January 1st. The Principality of Xi'an declares war against the Federation and launches surprise attacks on sites 1, 2, and 4. During this first week of the war, the indiscriminate use of N, B, and C weapons claims the lives of 2.8 billion space colonists. From the 4th to the 7th of January, the Principality of Xi'an forces a space colony out of orbit in an attempt to destroy Jaburo, the Federation Forces headquarters. Though the colony drop misses its target, it hits Sydney, Australia, and drastically alters Earth's climate. January 11th, the colonies of Side 6 announced their neutrality. In the 15th, the Battle of Loon begins at Side 5. The Federation Space Force is wiped out and the Principality of Xi'an captures General Revel. Side 5 colony cluster is completely destroyed. The 31st of January, with a third to a fourth of the human race wiped out and both sides exhausted, representatives meet in Antarctica for the Antarctic Treaty signing, which prohibits the use of NB and NBC weapons, prohibits colony drops and other tactics of MD, and guarantees the neutrality of Site 6 in the lunar cities. The Principality of Xi'an form an Earth attack force commanded by Garmazabi in February. The following month, the Earth attack force carries out a series of operation drops, captures most of Europe, Asia, Africa, and North America. That wouldn't happen very easily here. March 1st, Principality's Earth Fleet Earth Attack Force stages its first landing op. The first terrestrial mobile division deployed to Central Asia and proceeds onward to Europe and the Middle East. March 4th, Principality of Xi'an deploys a resource mining unit to Central Asia. March 11th, they stage a second landing operation. The 2nd and 3rd terrestrial divisions are deployed to the west and east coast of North America, respectively. March 13th, Principality of Xi'an captures California base, which now becomes the stronghold for Earth attack forces on the Principality's Earth-based attackers. March 18th, they stage a third landing op, and the 4th Mobile Division is deployed to Oceania and Australasia. In April of that year, Federation forces launched Project D, with a crash program to develop mobile suits and carrier ships and rebuild their fleet. Principality of Xi'an, April 4th, land reserve forces on Earth and deploys its Foreign Legion to Africa and the Middle East. Using captured resources and facilities, the Principality begins building up its military power. In space, by June, Principality of Xi'an completes its defensive line, consisting of the asteroid fortresses Solomon, Abalaku, and the lunar base Granada. And the Flanagan Institute is established to investigate new type phenomena. In July, the Federation forces developed compact beam weapons that can be used by mobile suits. The first RX-78 Gundam is completed, and trial production of the RX-79G Gundam ground-type model began. The Mobile Assault Carrier White Base, first of the Pegasus class, is completed. In August, they begin final testing of the RX-78 Gundam and other prototype mobile suits inside 7 Research Colony. Development of the RX-NT-1 Gundam Alex begins at Augusta Base in North America. September. Federation forces began final testing of the RX-78. Oh wait, September 18th. Sorry. Principality of Xeon Special Forces team, commanded by Lieutenant Commander Shar Aznavour at Tech Site 7. The RX-78-2 Gundam enters combat, destroying 2 Zaku's, and the survivors of the attack are evacuated aboard the White Base. Mobile Suit Gundam 0079, Episode 1. 0079, October. Federation forces begin mass producing their own mobile suits. Flanagan Instinct 2 completes a prototype Psycho Communicator System. 10-4, Garma Zabi falls in battle. Commander of the Earth Attack Forces. Mobile Suit Gundam, Episode 10. Giran Zabi, Supreme Leader of the Principality Xeon, October 6th, speaks at his brother's funeral. His fiery speech is broadcast across the Earth sphere. En route to Earth, Shiro Amada meets Principality test pilot Aina Sahali. 8th MS Team, Episode 1. In Eastern Europe, that's November 7th. The Federation forces launch Operation Odessa. In November 9th, the Operation Odessa ends in victory for the Federation. From Europe through Asia, the Principality Xeon's fighting force begins to collapse. The 8th MS Team intercepts the mobile armor Oxalis 2 at its testing ground. Mobile Suit Gundam, the 8th MS Team 7. Episode 7. Operation Desert Dragon. The Wolf Guard team, led by Henry Boone, launches multiple attacks against Albatross Base in the Gobi Desert, defended by Bork, Cry, and the RX-78XX Gundam Pixie. Okay, 0079, November 20th. The Federation forces begin full development of the RGM-79GM. Federation forces begin also an inquiry conducting regarding Shiro Amada's conduct. The 8th MS Team Neller's report. November 25th. The Federation forces capture Alice Springs, Australia. Mobile Suit Gundam Side Stories 0079 Rise from the Ashes. November 30th, Principality forces launch an operation against Jaburo, the headquarters of the Federation forces. The attack, led by Captain Shar Aznavour, ends in failure. Mobile Suit Gundam Episode 29. December 5th, Federation forces launch mop-up ops in Africa and North America. December 7th, Federation forces lay siege to a Principality base on the Tibetan Plateau. 8th MS Team, Episodes 10 and 11. December 8th, they begin production of the MS-14 Gelgoog. December 9th, Principality Xeon Cyclops team attack a Federation base in the Arctic Circle. Mobile Suit Gundam 0080 War in the Pocket, Episode 1. Okay. December 13th, Principality of Xeon attacks Side 6, Labat Colony. 8th 0080 War in the Pocket, Episode 1. December 14th, Federation forces begin their space offensive, launching their rebuilt space fleet from Jaburo. Mobile Suit Gundam 0079, Episode 31. December 15th, the Cyclops team infiltrates Labat Colony in order to locate and destroy the Gundam Alex. 0080 War in the Pocket. Federation forces recapture California base in a battle where the Afrik Custom and Blue Destiny Unit 1 are destroyed. That would be in the Blue Destiny. Okay, here we go. December 19th, Cyclops team attacks the secret Federation base where the NT-1 is stored. 0080 Episode 4. A Xeon commander decides to attack the Labot colony with N weapons. 0080 War in the Pocket Episode 5. Christmas Eve, or December 24th. Federation forces attack the space fortress Solomon. Solomon is captured. The Space Attack Force Commander Dozozavi falls in battle while giving time for non-essential and other personnel to escape. Mobile Suit Gundam Original 3536. The last member of the Cyclops team, December 25th, attempts to destroy the Gundam NT-1 in order to prevent the annihilation of the Labot colony. NT-1 is severely damaged and Bernard is KIA. War in the Pocket, Episode 6. Rest in peace, Bernie Wiseman. The day after Christmas, or the day after the 25th, December 26th, the Principality Xeon attacks Federation's Torrington base in Australia. Mobile Suit Gundam side story Rise from the Ashes. They activated solar weapon December 30th. A third of the Federation fleet is wiped out, along with the Principality's own sovereign, Degwin. New Year's Eve. The Federation forces attack the space fortress of Bawaku, anticipating the Principality's defeat. Captain Aguil Delaz and his followers withdraw from the battlefield. Mobile Suit Gundam episodes 42 and 43, but also 0083 Prologue episode 1. That's missing here. UC 0080. UC 0080, January 1st. 1 year war ends. Earth Federation and newly re-established Republic of Xeon sign a peace accord at the lunar city of Granada. Federation forces capture the Principality's Hugden base in Australia. Side stories Rise from the Ashes. January 14th. The Federation and government of Site 6 sign a security treaty. 0080 War in the Pocket. March 0080. Aguil Delaz gathers the Principality forces which remain in the Earth sphere. The Delaz fleet relocates to the Shola Zone and begins construction of the Garden of Thorns. June. The Federation forces announced that the former Principality forces on the African front have now been disarmed. Double checking something. Sorry about that. Okay, go here. 0081. Renegade Principality forces arrive at Axis with the infant Maneva Zabi, the Principality's heir. May 5th, at Axis, Dozel Zabi's widow Zena succumbs to an illness. December 3rd, Federation Assembly proposes the Federation Forces Reconstruction Plan, and as part of that plan, October 20th, the civilian company Anaheim begins the secret GDP program, Gundam Development Program. 0082, Federation forces secretly conduct and operate their own Federation new type labs in March or April, and in May, the first reclamation plan begins relocating damaged colonies from Side 4 to Side 3. Damn. 0083, one of my favorite Gundam things. 0083, July 30th. The Lost Fleet drafts plans for a major resistance called Operation Stardust. September 9th, Maharaja Khan dies. 2 days later, his 16-year-old Haman succeeds him as Maneba Zabi's regent. September 18th, rollout of GPO-2 Gundam Fistilis. No, it's not Fistilis, is it? I forget the name. At Anaheim Electronics Von Braun factory. Rollout of the Gundam Zephyrius. GPO-1, its full Vernier custom parts. September 29th. Rollout of the GPO-3 Gundam Stamen Orcus and the Orcus part at Anaheim's Von Braun factory. October 7th. Assault Carrier Albion collects the GPO-1 and 2A from Von Braun, then departs for the Federation's Torrington base for field testing. October 9th, Anavagato at the Jalas Fleet lands in Africa, joining forces with terrestrial remnants. The Albion arrives at Torrington. 10:13. Gato infiltrates the base, hijacking the GPO-2A and it's in W. 083 Stardust Memory. 10:14. GPO-2 escapes in the direction of Africa. Albion begins pursuit. Episode 2. Albion arrives in Africa searching for the stolen Gundam. October 16th. The 23rd. Gato and the GPO-2 escape in an HLV. Episode 4 of 083 Stardust Memory. The Jalas Fleet's declaration of war is heard October 31st in a broadcast throughout the Earth's sphere. Episode 5. The second space colony reclamation plan is started, transferring damaged colonies from Side 1 to Side 3. And that was November 1st. November 2nd, Albion docks at Von Braun. Episode 6. Leaving the moon. Albion sets course for the Sea of Solomon, November 4th. November 8th, the battleship Birmingham, aided by Albion, battles the Shima fleet. Episode 8. Meanwhile, 2 days later, the Federation naval reviews attacked by the Lost Fleet, and 60% of the participating ships are immobilized or destroyed. Meanwhile, 2 colonies are hijacked in mid-transfer, and one begins falling toward the moon. The Federation's remaining naval vessels hurriedly begin retreating. Pursuit. 083 episodes 9 through 10. The runaway colony's trajectories change toward Earth. 11 and November 11th. The Albion launches in pursuit, accompanied by a GPO-3 Gundam. Using Solar System 2, Federation forces attempt to stop the colony's descent. Episode 12 and the 13th, the colony follows on the North American colony. W3 episode 13. Certain Albion crew members are court-martialed for their actions during the Jalas conflict. I'll bet. Koaraki gets a lot of flack, but I honestly love it how during the court-martial where they say, keeping silent won't help you answer the question, do you hear me? And he's just saying quietly with a face that says, eat dirt, dirtbag. Because he knows he'll get off. And if I were him, I would hunt down the very next Gundam and join the AUG in a few years. Really. Let's be real here. December 4th, at the urging of Commodore Jamatov Hyman, the Federation forces form an elite task force called the Titans to hunt down former Principality of Xeon forces. I'm going to read a little more because it is important. 0084. The truth about the colony drop in March 10th and the details of GDP are erased from official records. All sentences with these affairs are thus nullified. I don't know about that. June 17th, after reorganizing, the Federation Assembly declares the status quo of the Earth sphere will be maintained. September 21st, Shah returns to the Earth sphere and illegally assesses the Federation's military registry. He then infiltrates the Federation forces under an assumed name. Smart guy. 084-12. Lieutenant Junior Grade Ellard Hunter is transferred to the S1. Subsequently, the Titan test team. Events of Zeta Flag of the Titans. I wish we could get an anime of this. 085. The S1 docks at Colony 25, Side 1. Principality remnants attack the Hazel 1. TR-1 Hazel inside the colony. Events of Zeta Flag of the Titans, Chapter 6. July 31st, the Titans use poison gas to suppress the demonstration at Colony 30, wiping out the colony's 3 million inhabitants. Anti-Fed resistance increases as a result, and the AU is organized. Blackwater team encounters enemy forces while escorting a transport ship to Side 1. TR-1 is damaged. Flag of the Titans, Episode 12. Episode or chapter? 0085 in August. Blackwater team conducts another test on the Bizac Bigwig, TR-1B Bigwig, its long-range beam cannon. The cannon unit malfunctions during the firing, and Karl Matsuba is forced to jettison it. Chapter 15 of Advance of Zeta. Construction of grips. September 8th. The new Titan headquarters begins in Side 7. October. The Blackwater team battles Principality remnants near I can't spell that. Destroying 2 enemy units. The upgraded Hazel is reassigned to the team. Blackwater team engages 2 Hyzacs of unknown origin in 0086. Lieutenant Maxim Gunnar of the Federation Forces is assigned to the S1 to test high mobility equipment for the Gabaldi Beta. He proceeds to defect to the AU. Interesting. And then the asteroid Axis begins its journey back to the Earth sphere. I'm going to take a break on this because, yeah, it's been fun. Normally I don't do stuff like this, but I'm going to take a break. Zeta, Double Zeta, and Shar's counterattack are going to be long stories. So, yeah, I could keep going, but yeah. Figured I'd do this for once because this has been a YouTube video I've been wanting to do for a while, and I haven't. So I thank everyone for viewing this, and I appreciate it. You guys have a great day, and I'll see you.